Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the original version of the IWC Portuguese Perpetual Calendar, reference 5021-03. This watch is 44.2 millimeters in pink gold, and it is 15.3 millimeters thick, 52.5 millimeters from lug to lug, and it features a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. This is a model that ran from 2003 to 2010, and there are a number of features on this watch that mark it as one of the examples built from 2003 to 2005, and we'll talk about that in a moment. First, let's get this big boy on the wrist. It is a substantial watch, and as you can see, it is probably suitable for wrists no smaller than 15 centimeters circumference. My wrist is 16 centimeters. Could you wear it on a smaller wrist? Just, but you could. 15 centimeters circumference, consider that the lower limit. Now you can see it'll fit underneath some jacket cuffs, but maybe not the tightest of dress sleeves. It's fairly broad. Here's your down the barrel shot, and then you can see from over the top, it's pushed right out to the edge of my wrist. The lugs are not quite overlapping, but they're close. Take a look at the hardware and the software, as I like to say. This being an older IWC model, you can see that the strap is pre-Santoni, but nicely made. It is an IWC factory strap in outstanding condition. It is black, large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top with a monotone stitch. It features a sheer cut side showing the layers of leather. It's a little bit of bolstering, so it's stuffed to give it some volume and heft. It's calfskin on the underside, and then we have a lovely, alternately brushed and polished full yellow, or I should say pink gold deploying clasp. And I should emphasize it is pink gold, not rose or red. It's what's often called 3N. So between yellow and rose, you have pink, and that's what this is. You also have that vintage International Watch Co. logo, which I adore inside this older version of the clasp. Bravo, boys. I wish they still used that. Rolling around to the case band, you can see that the case in pink gold features all of the hallmarks of a Portugueser. Now you can see that the case band is actually very similar to the 1932 Patek Philippe reference 96, unofficially the first Calatrava. That watch came out in 1932. The original Portugueser, which is German for Portuguese, came out in 1939. That reference 325 was invited by the Portuguese importers of IWC to Portugal, Rodriguez and Teixeira. They wanted a wristwatch that was as accurate as a pocket watch. The only way to do that at the time was to put a pocket watch movement in a wristwatch case, which necessitated an oversized case, and the first oversized purpose-built wristwatch was born. Now you can see you have those same blended form follows function lugs with a polished case back, somewhat concave bezel and high polish, polished lug hood, satin finished mid-case. Note the use of the pre-2006 fish crown. From 2003 to about mid to late 2005, it changed at the end of 2005, there was a fish crown, which was the traditional IWC signature of a water-resistant crown. Not hugely water-resistant, 30 meters, but that's what the fish meant. After late 2005, just before 2006, they transitioned to the Probus Scafusia, or logo, or motto crown as it's called. This is desirable. It's often replaced at the factory. It's nice to see this one still has the original equipment. Now the watch, of course, does reference the original 325 a couple of different ways. First, you can see it has leaf hands at center, a dimple-style track outboard for reading the minutes, and then vertically arrayed applique Arabic numerals. Where we change is in the inclusion of a full perpetual calendar. This perpetual calendar includes northern and southern hemisphere moonphase. It includes the days of the month. It includes the months of the year. It includes the days of the week. It includes the year, the decade, the century, and the millennium. And it is the Kurt Klaus IWC sequential perpetual calendar system. So all I do is set it like a quick set on a Rolex, and I adjust the current day for the year I'm in, and everything else is mechanically programmed to move in sync. I don't need to look up the moon phase. I don't need to reference anything. I just need to turn the crown until I arrive on my current day, and it's mechanically programmed through the year 2100. Kurt Klaus, IWC watchmaker, invented that in the 80s. It remains one of the best systems available. Now, rotating the watch over, and you can see another early 2000s launch. This watch was launched in 2003, and this basic movement was launched in 2000. It's based on the reference 5000 core. This is the caliber evolved from the reference 5000 IWC 5611. automatic winding with bidirectional action. You can see another IWC engineering legacy, the Paul-based bidirectional Peloton winding system, invented in the late 40s and implemented in the early 50s by IWC watchmaker Albert Peloton. It is a super tough, efficient bidirectional winding system that uses this pawl wheel and a little eccentric cam in those two pawls, and it slowly winds this watch's 7-day automatic winding power reserve. There is also a power reserve indicator for the 7-day reserve on the dial side, so you have the reference visible and handy. All of this pivots on 66 joules, and it's adjusted in a chronometer style 5 positions. This was not free sprung. It was not yet a free sprung balance back when this watch was made, but it does feature the handmade Breguet overcoil hairspring that would be included on every subsequent model. That helps the watch to keep excellent time in any physical orientation. It beats away at the original beat rate of the Caliber 5000 family, which is 18,000 vibrations per hour. Later that would become 21.6 and then 28.8. This is the original version. You can also see that for precise setting, it does feature hacking or stop seconds. The watch features a rotor with a yellow gold inserted medallion, which is a lovely flourish. And then you can see a number of mechanical but handsome finishing elements, including satination on the wheels, the ratchet wheel, black polished screws, black polished click, circular Côte de Genève across the bridges, and then you can see engine turning on the base plate. It is a good looking watch. I particularly like that the jewel for the escape wheel was set in a golden chaton, referencing IWC's long and glorious era of pocket watch production. Reach out to Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.